Greetings. My name is Craig Clayton, and I'd like to talk with you about a workshop that we've developed entitled Corporate Bullying, the New Sexual Harassment in the Workplace. Now there's two pieces to the conversation and training in this particular workshop. One is around the topic of what we call corporate bullying. Corporate bullying is specific to the kinds of organizational cultures that allow the behaviors that are clearly out of line with the corporate values to occur. I know. I've been bullied in an organization. I know what it feels like to have the boss in a meeting position me in a way that makes it seem as though I'm not a team player, or try to play one player against another, or those gatekeepers that watch every split second of the day for every employee as though an employee stealing from the company, when in actuality that same boss doesn't say a word when that employee shows up an hour early or stays an hour late to get their work done. There's bosses that do things that are ringmaster-like in their behaviors, wanting people to jump through hoops, and even if they do, they then want them to do it again to prove that it wasn't luck. There's an array of topics we're going to talk about in the workshop. How do you spot corporate bullying? How do you avoid it in the first place? What are some of the types of bullies that exist? It's like the topic of sexual harassment. When it was previously the unspoken conversation in the workplace, and many of us remember when there were behaviors that clearly were sexual harassment, but no one said a word about it. Bullying has become the same. We define the kinds of bullies in this workshop so that it enables and empowers people to acknowledge what's happening and to call people on the behaviors when they occur. Additionally, we're going to give you definitions for both corporate bullying and workplace bullying. Again, one is about the culture, the other is about the behaviors. We're also going to talk about the law, because unfortunately right now there is no law in any state in the country against corporate bullying. But there are laws pending. So we're going to hopefully give you an opportunity to be ahead of the curve. We're going to talk about how to prevent becoming a target, what the difference is between the term target and victim. There's a financial impact to your organization as a result of these behaviors. We're also going to talk about that in this workshop. There's a personal impact that we can't forget. There is a physical impact from people being ill connected to these behaviors. Let me give you a quick anecdote. A lady shared with me an example where when her boss comes by her workplace, specifically in her work area, she's so leery of being in the crosshairs with a guy that's the type that is the confrontational, in-your-face screamer type of manager, that when she hears his voice coming down the hall, she says, "I put my trash can near my feet because I'm so nauseous I feel I'm going to throw up just hearing him walking down the hall." Clearly, that's not an appropriate way for people to feel coming into the workplace. We're going to talk about the personal impact. We're also going to talk about ways to change the organizational culture and provide you with info. That's a three-step model. And last but not least, we'll talk about the benefits of being bully-free. There are numerous studies being done currently on this topic of the prevalence of bullying in the workplace. First of all, approximately 35% of all employees, over 1 in 3, state that they have first-hand experience in the last 12 months with being bullied. An additional 15% have witnessed bullying, making the total impact of the workforce over 50% that have experienced or witnessed bullying in the last 12 months. There also is data linking the fact that there is increased amount of time being wasted avoiding or worrying about the bully at work. More about that later. Additional data: 2/3 of bullies are men. 1/3 of bullies are women, who then target other women up to 80% of the time. Some studies cite that workplace bullying is up to 4 times more prevalent than illegal harassment in the workplace. Additionally, as much as 80% of the bullying that occurs in corporate America is done by one's boss. Now there's a big difference between being a tough manager and a bully boss. Tough managers deal with real behavioral and performance issues, while bully bosses make it personal, humiliating, and demeaning, and they do it on purpose. When asked if the bullying had an impact on their home life, over 80% said yes. When managers were asked if they felt if they had the tools to handle bullying, 90% said no. Now, from an HR standpoint, just to give you a perspective, this has been pre-approved for 3 general credits through HRCI, and it is a part of the Chapter HR program that we can partner with various chapters to offer it as a fundraising tool that would at least allow you to break even, if nothing else, to ensure that your members get access to these skill sets. I'd love a chance to talk with you. I've personally delivered both keynote addresses and workshops in numerous SHRM chapters, ASTD chapters, and other association types of events. So if you're interested, please don't hesitate. For those of you small to medium-sized chapters that have a limited budget, and I understand that as well, there's lots of ways that we can be flexible in working with you. Thanks again for this opportunity, and help me to drive these behaviors out of organizations. Let me share one last thought with you before closing. If you're someone who's on the receiving end of bullying behaviors, and as I said, I've been there, you've done nothing to deserve being bullied. Part of what the bully tries to accomplish is creating a culture where you will feel as though it's your fault. It's almost like a spousal abuse type of environment. Well, let me again say, if you're on the receiving end of it, and there are people in every organization, in every silo, at every layer, who are going through the behaviors, you've done nothing to deserve it. Let us work with you to make sure we drive these behaviors out and create a culture where people feel comfortable in bringing their A game to work every day, bias-free. Make it a great day.